Hey, and welcome to Star Wars 101. In this video, we're going to be going over George Lucas's original idea for the Rule of Two. This segment is from the 1999 through 2005 Star Wars Archives book. If you guys enjoy this video, then make sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more videos every week. Now let's dive in. The Rule of Two, George Lucas. There was never a war between the Jedi and the Sith Lords. The Sith Lords were in control for a long time. And what happens when you have a world full of Sith Lords? They start killing each other to see who's going to be the top Sith Lord. They don't vote, they just kill. It's like a medieval feudal system. There may have been thousands or millions of them, and eventually, after 100 or 150 years, they killed everyone except for two. And the more powerful of the two decided, "You're my apprentice, I'm your master. I will pass on my knowledge to you to keep the dark side of the Force alive." But he would keep a close eye on his apprentice. But the arrangement never worked because the apprentice was constantly trying to recruit another person so that the two of them together could be more powerful than their master. They could kill him and take over. Likewise, the master is also looking for another apprentice so that he can keep the first apprentice in line. The Rule of Two ensures that if there's more than two, they'll kill each other until there are two left. Then the Republic came to power, and the Jedi brought peace to the galaxy by being ambassadors and troubleshooters. So when the Senate decides to do something, or the Jedi Council discovers something that's amiss, the Jedi fix it. The Jedi don't like to fight or kill people. They're monk warriors. They're monks first, and they try to convince people to get along, and if you don't comply, your hand comes off. They use their power to keep the governments of all the planets in line, so that they don't do terrible things. Paul Duncan. And they have the moral authority for that? George Lucas. Yeah. They are the most moral of anybody in the galaxy. They're monks. The Sith practice the dark side and are way out of balance. The Jedi aren't as much out of balance because they're the light side of the Force. They still have the bad side of the Force in them, but they keep it in check. It's always there, so it can always erupt if you let your guard down. The Emperor snookered the Jedi with Order 66. The nascent rebellion and the Jedi didn't move fast enough. Paul Duncan. They're fallible. George Lucas. They're not super people. Paul Duncan. They've been as manipulated and outplayed as everybody else. Darth Sidious had ordered the clone army pre-Episode 1, so it feels like they lost from the beginning. George Lucas. Nobody knows who ordered the clones. It's played as if it were somebody from the Jedi Council who foresaw there was going to be a war, so he was preparing for it. But it turns out that was somebody working for Palpatine, Sifo Dyas. He was the apprentice before Darth Maul. Paul Duncan. And then Count Dooku took over from Maul. George Lucas. With Count Dooku, I set up the idea that some of the Sith Lords were fallen Jedi who went to the dark side. The Emperor picked them up and trained them in the dark side, but they were already trained to use the Force as Jedi. Palpatine told Dooku, "I have somebody who I think will become a great Sith Lord, and I think we can get him to join us, but we need to test him. So we're going to set up a situation where you fight him. If he gets the best of you, then I'll stop the fight and he'll have passed the test. If you get the best of him, then we'll let him go and we'll let him stew for a few more years until he's ready." But behind it, obviously, is Palpatine's real intention. If Anakin is good enough, Anakin can kill Dooku and become Palpatine's apprentice. But he didn't tell Dooku that. I have to say one thing for Palpatine. He goes through apprentices pretty quickly. That's why he wants Anakin, because it's hard to get help, and this Anakin kid is going to be good. Paul Duncan. He's a keeper. George Lucas. He's better than all these other ones. He thought, I'll put him up against Dooku and see who wins. And Anakin won. The Rule of Two is referred to in all the movies. Darth Vader wanted Luke to join him in Episode 5. Come with me, my son, and we'll rule the galaxy together. Every time you come across a Dark Lord, he always wants somebody else to be there with him so that they could take over. It's the same thing when the Emperor is trying to get Luke to kill his father in Episode 6, because he thinks Luke's stronger than his father. In Episode 3, Anakin becomes a Sith, becomes Darth Vader, when he kills Mace. Even at the end, Anakin says to Padme, I can be more powerful than the Emperor. And he wants her to join him, but she refuses. That's greed. Greed means that you're either afraid you're not going to get what you want, or you're afraid that when you get it, somebody's going to take it away from you. It's all fear-driven. You've got to not be greedy. It puts you in a bad place, and then you're unhappy. So, philosophically speaking, that's how the whole thing fits together, and that is what drives all the stories. So that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, then make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below telling me what you think of the early history of the Jedi, Sith, Republic, and the idea they originally had for the Rule of Two. And with all that said, have a great day.